Okay, so proportions show up other places than just ratios, and places like that are tables and graphs. So all we're doing right now is determining whether or not tables and graphs are proportional. So we're going to say that I can determine if tables and graphs are proportional. Okay. So we're going to do a quick review on how to graph points. Okay, so when you're graphing the point x comma y, we always graph x first, and that is on the horizontal axis. So left to right. So if you need to draw the arrow, go ahead and draw the arrow. Okay, so after we found where x goes, we're going to move from that place to our y value. So y goes second and is the vertical axis. So up and down, okay? And then there's a special point on a graph called 0, 0, and it's called the origin, because that's where you always start from, okay? So we're going to graph them as points. Okay, so we have x comma y. So from my origin, 0, 0, I go to 1. And then I do my y value up and down to 5. So this one is 1, 5. Okay. Then we're going to graph 0, 0, which is just right here where they intersect. Okay. To graph the point 3, 4, I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to go to my x value, so sideways 3. Then we're going to go up to 4. Okay, to graph 2, 5, I start at the origin, go over to 2, then from 2, I go up to 5. And I put my dot right there. Okay, you can also graph points from a table. Okay, so here's my x values and my y values. So these guys are going to go together. So I have the point 0, 0. So the origin, which is right here, haven't gone anywhere. Then my x value is 1, so from the origin I go over to 1. My y value is positive 1, so I go up to positive 1. And I put my dot where you land. Okay. All right, so starting back over at the origin, we go, our x value is 3, so I go over 3. Then my y value is 3, so I go up 3. Where I land is where I put my dot. Okay. Our last one is 4, 0. So I go over to my x value of 4, so sideways 4. And then my y value is 0, so I don't go up or down at all. It just stays right here. Okay. So make sure you've graphed them like me and that they match. Okay. So for a table is proportional when the unit rate of y to x is equivalent for all points in the table. So it has to be equivalent for every single one. Okay? So remember that for unit rate, I'm going to do y divided by x. Okay? So for this point 2, 2, I'm going to do y divided by x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. For this point, 4 divided by 4 is also 1. For my final point, 6 divided by 6, y is 6, x is 6, is 1. So, since they all have the same unit rate, it is proportional. Okay. All right, let's try this table. And we can use our calculators, that's fine. So for every x, I need a y point. So here's an x and here's the y that goes with it. Here's an x and the y that goes with it. Last one, an x and a y that goes with it. Okay, so I'm going to find the unit right by taking y divided by x. So I'm going to do -2 divided by 1. So y divided by x is -2. Okay, all right, then I'm going to take my y value, 2 divided by 3 is 0.66667, or 2/3. I'm going to leave it as a fraction. Okay. The last one, I'm going to take my y value, 4, divided by my x value, 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Since none of those match, this table is non-proportional. The unit rates are not the same. Okay, so you're going to take your y value divided by your x value. If you get the same number for every single point, so you have to test every single point in that table, then it would be proportional. Okay? All right, so to tell if a graph is proportional, the relationship between x and y is going to be proportional. That means that they're changing by the same amount from one point to the next, or it's going to look like a straight line through the origin. So remember that our origin is 0, 0. Okay, so this one goes through the origin and it's a straight line, so it is proportional. Okay. You can say straight line through the origin. I ran out of space. Okay. And so then this graph, it does go through the origin, okay? But it's got a little curve to it. It's not a straight line, so this is non-proportional. It's not a straight line. Okay? So at some point, they're not changing by the exact same amount every single time. So they're not proportional for that, okay? So for tables, find the unit rate of y to x. If it's the same, it's proportional. If it's not the same, not proportional. And then graphs have to be a straight line that goes through the origin. Okay, it has to have both of those things. And guys, that's it, okay? So you have the practice on the back, just a few problems. You got this, have fun.